Welcome to DU Digimon.
Hello and welcome to DU Digimon and welcome to the second match of Jank Tank 12. If you have not watched the Dex overview video or the first match between Kentaurosmon and Nature Spirits, please do, would massively appreciate it. I would also massively appreciate it if you like the video, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell and try out that hype button we discussed in the last video. Anyways, it's on to today's match. We have got myself piloting AguBond, taking on Dan and Rosemon. It's a Tai versus Mimi battle. It's an adventure deck versus an adventure deck. Let's see who's going to win, the Crest of Bravery or the Crest of Sincerity. Let's get into it. Okay, so here we go with game one. I will be starting us off hatching, apparently hatching a BT9 Koromon, but I forgot to shuffle my eggs. So, hatching BT14 Koromon, and then we're going to go into our Agumon in the back, as well as our BT12 Agumon, which is only going to add one of the tamers to hand, but that's better than nothing, so we're going to add the EX9, because that does help us with further consistency and memory gain. Dan's then going to go off, going into the Kokomon and then Lalamon on top. Kokomon is a fantastic egg for him because of the fact he does so much suspending in his deck. So I guess with his draws, he's got some memory stuff going on as well. He's then going to go into the Yoshino whilst we go into Tai and Matt. He's then going to push up the Lalamon. So now going back to Dan's turn. And he's going to go up into Togemon. Togemon is going to then play out Mimi. Now, really interesting thing with this Mimi during this match. If you can put down in the comments what Dan does not do, I will say well done. We're not giving out prizing, but you will get a well done from me. So just try and see what that Mimi does not do all match. Anyways, we're now on our turn. We're going to go into Greymon, the Shiny Boy SP, the very first SP I pulled and the only SP I'm keeping. But we're going to delete the Togemon away, and then we're going to swing on in, get a draw, swing on in, play out another Yoshino for him. We did also get to retain turn, obviously, with the EX9 Tai and Matt when we digivolved into that Greymon, which was very nice. And we get to add EX9 Tai and Matt and SkullGreymon to our hand with the BT12 Agumon. Dan is then going to go to Kokomon and then go to Palmon in the back, getting that ready with that start of main effect, which is so annoying even to this day. Just start of main, if you suspend, give me 2 memory. That's if I suspend you. That's if you suspend yourself, I get 2 memory. And he's having a think on what to do here, and he just decides, I'm going to slam down Quartzmon Ace. Quartzmon BT12 may be banned in Jank Tank, but nothing says about Quartzmon Ace just yet. So that suspends everything on the board, which is kind of nuts. We're going to go into Koromon in the back, and then go into Agumon, and we're going to digivolve up into Greymon now. And we are now going to get some very good value out of our SkullGreymon, I believe, is what we do. I think I'm deciding which one of my 2 Greymons to actually keep on board, and we decide to go with the one that has the draw egg, which makes sense. So we go into this SkullGreymon. We're going to trash something from our hand. It looks like we're going to trash the Greymon, deletes the Greymon, and then deletes his lowest level as well, which just so happens to be Quartzmon because the only thing out. That then gives us the overflow, and we get to play out a Tai Tamer after deleting our Greymon. We're then going to play EX9 Tai and Matt out for another draw. I think we took the Greymon back from the trash, I think, actually. We're then going to play out Tai, so we are fully boarded. We've got all of our tamers out for a lot of memory gain. He's then put the start of main effect onto our SkullGreymon, so if it does suspend on the next turn, we will give two memory over. And he goes into the Palmon X, and right now, we've got so much board presence going on. I mean, Dan's got a fair whack on the go as well, and he managed to get up all the way up to 8 memory, which is nuts. He then plays out the Lalamon and is going to search, adding, I think he adds the Sunflowmon. I thought he added the Rosemon here, but he adds the Sunflow. So that gives him a level 4 to go up into, which is fairly handy given that both his Digimon currently are rookies. He's then going to go into that Sunflowmon, use its main effect, suspend itself, I think to play something out, or does he not do that yet? Does he do something else first? Or is he going to do the Sunflow first? You'd think I'd have some sort of omniscient knowledge over all of these matches because I watch the footage over and then also put all the card images before I do the voiceover recording. However, I forget. I have limited brain capacity. He's going to go to green memory boost, do a little search here, and he's going to add the Lilymon to hand, which the Lilymon and the Mega Kabuterimon are very interesting at level 5s for him because he doesn't really get much value out of their actual effects. He gets a small amount of value. The main reason they're in there is for the Alliance and Herrismal. So like right here, for example, he's not going to put anything suspended to the bottom of the deck because he doesn't have a Tamer Colors, which is a real shame in general. Because SkullGreymon does not like to be bottom decked. It's got undeletions for a reason, and including from the BT17 Greymon as well. He's then going to just slam down another Quartzmon ace. He's not found any Rosemons, despite he had to choose between a level 4 and a Rosemon just then, and he unfortunately didn't get a Rosemon. And then going to move up with our Agumon. We're going to Digivolve into Greymon and gain our 3k, and then delete the Lilymon. We're then going to go up into SkullGreymon. We're going to do... I think we do the trash here to delete our SkullGreymon. So we trash WarGreymon, delete our SkullGreymon, and his Lalamon, which does seem like a bad trade-off, but we get 2 on deletions from that. So we get to hatch in the back, and we get to play out an Agumon, and we choose to play out the ST20 Agumon because it gives it rush because we've got Tai in play, and we've got enough colours. We can warp with that Agumon now as well. So we are going to initiate the warp into the Adventure WarGreymon, which is then going to delete the Quartzmon because we are bigger than it, which gives us a tasty amount of overflow. That felt frankly dirty. We've then got rush on this WarGreymon, so we're going to swing in for 2 checks, hitting it into Rosemon. Then onto SkullGreymon, we go into BT14 WarGreymon. We're not going to attack into it. We're going to go into AguBond because AguBond can swing, trash the security, and that's game 1 over and done with. On to game 2. So Dan is going to get us started off this time around, and we have got the Kokomon going up into the Palmon, and he's going to go into the Lalamon to get the little search going on. Can't add the Quartzmon, of course, but I think he adds the Togemon X here to give himself a level 4. No, he adds the Palmon because he's already got the Togemon X in hand. So we are now going to hatch on our turn and go to Koromon and go to Agumon and into Tai, leaving him on 1, and we've got a memory tamer out, so that's great. And of course the Agumon can then digivolve up into a Greymon for free. He attacks in with the Lalamon, and it very much dies to that Agubond in security, and then goes into Togemon X in the background. We're then just going to keep biding our time. We go into EX9 just to get a card draw going on and a little bit more memory gain. He then goes into Mimi, and again, something didn't happen there. Do comment what it was if you haven't already. We're then going to go into BT12 Agumon, do a little bit more searching, go into Greymon to digivolve into that, and then just gain a memory and leave him on 1. And the Greymon, if it does die, we get to play out another tamer, so that's not really that bad, really. Dan's then having a little think on what to do next, and he does play out another Mimi, and I kind of want to spoil what it is. It's so obvious. It's so obvious what he didn't do now. Like, how we didn't pick it up during the match at all, either himself or myself, I have no idea. But anyways, during all that time I've been talking, I climb up into WarGreymon, draw from our BT21 Tai and a memory from the EX9, 2 checks, which is pretty darn nice. And we've now got a target for our ace, if of course we've got one in hand, which I'm pretty sure I do. You can probably just about see my hand. I think I do at this point. I can't remember. Again, I don't have omniscient knowledge, even though I was sat there playing this, even though I've watched through this, even though I watched this through again when putting card images in. I don't have omniscient knowledge because I just forget. I have got goldfish brain. Anyways, Dan did move up, and he goes into HPD on top of his Togemon X, suspends the Togemon X to reduce the cost by 5 when he goes up into Mega Kabuterimon, which then allows him to unsuspend. So that's a pretty nice... I see you, Dan. That's quite a nice synergy there. Obviously, HPD is only at 1, so it's not going to come up that much often, but when it does, that's pretty cool. He's then going to go to Green Scramble to go up into Rosemon from BT23, because of course, although we didn't do a BT23 vote before this tournament, we did allow cards that kind of gave minor updates, and although Rosemon is a new level 6, this kind of was a new a minor update. It's not a full line, it's just a Rosemon. But Rosemon, an interesting thing here is Dan said to me during the match, oh, you don't have anything to suspend, so I can't use my Rosemon at all. Rosemon doesn't need to suspend an opponent's Digimon, so he could have, technically speaking, suspended Rosemon to get off the full version of his effects, which is kind of a shame that we didn't pick up on that. But again, it's all practice, it's all learning, it's all new cards. We're then going to go into Rosemon, and Rosemon has Alliance. We're going to swing into WarGreymon because we do have now the same DP as WarGreymon, and unfortunately, I do not have a bond. So WarGreymon is going to pass, and then Rosemon gets played out because that's Fortitude. We do get to play out our BT6 Tai, which is very nice, but it gets played out after the Rosemon, so the Rosemon's on play does not go off. And again, he could have done the suspend itself to here, and he realised this after the match as well, but hey-ho. We're then going to push out into our Agumon and Digivolve for free up into Greymon. We also get a memory and a draw from our Tai from BT6 for moving up from the breeding. We're then going to choose what we're going to delete here, and I think I still delete the Palmon. I could have deleted both of one or the other here, but I think I decided to delete the Palmon. Yeah, so I'm just having a think on what to do. Yeah, delete the Palmon, get my memory from Time Map. Then we are going to Digivolve into Alterous mode. So if we play out another Tamer here, there you go. We are going to Digivolve for free up into WarGreymon, and then we gain a memory from that Tai. Delete the Rosemon, so we've got a big old WarGreymon in the field now. Move in for 2 checks. He gets a Yoshino, so he now has a memory Tamer, which is kind of annoying. And we are then going to simply go into an Agumon from BT12, do another search. We can't add the AguBond, unfortunately, but we do add BT21 Tai and the EX9 Alterous mode. Then on to Dan's turn. He's just going to scramble here, play out the Palmon. So we'll get that start of main off, which is kind of annoying. Hatches the Kokomon in the back. And so he's got the start of main. He's done it on the Agumon, I think he's done it on, rather than the WarGreymon. I think because I think he stops us from being able to suspend with that WarGreymon. I could be wrong. Yeah, so he goes into the Kokomon X, which does stop something from suspending, I think. But it doesn't do the second part of the effect, which is to suspend something. So because WarGreymon is already suspended, he chooses that. So if we attack him with Agumon, we're going to give him 2 memory. Or if we get suspended, we give him 2 memory, just like that. And he gets memory off the Mimis as well. It's crazy the amount of memory gain he can get, actually. I thought my memory gain was good, but then, I require like twice as many cards, I think, to get the memory gain going properly. I could be wrong. But, he's gone into that Lalamon, and again, does not bottom deck anything because he doesn't have enough Tamer colours. You need 1 additional colour on board to be able to bottom deck 1 thing, which is obviously the caveat with the adventure cards. They're very powerful, but they require that additional setup to actually get the full value out of them. I think he's then asking me, like, the strength of WarGreymon, I think, and then possibly about ace things here. I could be wrong. But he's having a good old think in any regard. We've got the Tai. That did give 1,000 unblocker to WarGreymon. So it has got that boost there. It's just very big. So WarGreymon does actually get a DP boost from every colour of Digimon or Tamers on the board. So just from this board presence here, it's got red, it's got black, it's got blue, it's got white, and there's green. So it's getting a 5k boost just from everything being on the board. Plus the additional 1k from the Tai from BT12. So it is pretty darn big. He's then going to swing. He's got Alliance here. I try to remember. Did he get big enough? I don't think he's big enough to. I know he gets a boost from the Kokomon X as well, actually. But he goes in. He does go into security. He does 2 checks. We didn't have a bond in hand, unfortunately, so we couldn't ace him at this point. We're then going to hatch into Koromon in the back, and now I think we've drawn into bond. I think at this point. Now we go to Agumon, and then what do we do? We go into Greymon. That gives us 2 memory and an additional draw. We delete the Rosemon, and now I think we've got our draw, and we've got through memory, and luckily Greymon is counted. Oh no, we go to Alterous mode here. I thought we went into bond here, but apparently not. If I had gone into bond, I probably would have won here. I think. If I've got bond in hand, I would have won here, I think. But we go into WarGreymon instead. Just get a bit blocker out. I think I probably was overthinking the 2 memory thing. If I had an AguBond in hand, I definitely could have won just then. But no matter. It's fine. we've got 2 WarGreymons out, so if we do have the bond in hand, then we can just blast ace him. But he's got that Togemon out now, so he will be able to suspend itself to play out a Tamer and gain some memory. So plays out the Yoshino, so he gets to now... something happened to pause the game now. I don't know what it was, but it's always funny doing these commentaries, guys, because like it's trying to remember exactly what went on. It's why kind of why I used to prefer doing just the normal audio, because that way you know what's going on, because you can see what's going on, but also to kind of make it slightly harder to track, I suppose. But he does go into the Rosemon here. He gets to unsuspend. He gained a bunch of memory for going up into a Veggie and doing suspending stuff. And he's now thinking on what to do with this Rosemon. Goes into Quartzmon Ace, which is going to keep everything suspended on the board. And actually, because he's got the when Digivolving effect, will delete something. Now, basically, these 2 WarGreymons are exactly the same because of the on deletion effect. So he deletes that. We get to play out Tai, and we get to either draw or put something into our security. So we are going to go up into Agumon now. We will move up and warp into Bond of Bravery, which is then, thanks to the 1k boost from Tai, is big enough to delete the Quartzmon, swing in, trash the security, and that is game. So in the battle between Mimi and Tai, Tai comes out the winner. AguBond moves on to our final match. We're already at the finals, guys. Obviously, these Jank Tanks do happen a lot more succinctly, I suppose, than an actual tournament, because obviously we can't film all of the matches. One day we might be able to, but not currently. We do move on to the finals with AguBond, and funnily enough, we are going up against the winning deck from match 1, and a deck that is also mine. So it will be me and AguBond taking on Will and Kentaurosmon in the final of Jank Tank 12. Make sure you stick around to watch that one. Obviously I always want to hype all of these matches, and do press the hype button. I hate doing the hype buttons stuff, but do press the hype button as well, guys, if you feel pumped. Yeah, that is a really good match, guys. Do check it out. Lots of tricks and spills and stuff like that going on in it. So yeah, do come and see that match tomorrow to see who wins Jank Tank 12. Like, subscribe, ding that notification bell, and hype the shit out of the video with that hype button. And we'll see you again on the next video. But until then, keep it digital.